Hey everyone, and welcome to our first read aloud for Read Across America Week, Growth Mindset Style. We're going to start off with a question. How is this elastic and your brain alike? That's the question I want you to be thinking about while we read this nonfiction book. Nonfiction means it is full of facts, and we often read nonfiction in order to learn. So we're going to be learning about our brain today. In Your Fantastic Elastic Brain, Stretch It, Shape It, by Joanne Deck, illustrated by Sarah Ackerley. I hope that you enjoy our first read aloud. Let's get started. What does your brain really do? Does it fill the space between your ears? Well, yes, but your brain can do so much more. Your brain helps you think and remember and name what you see and what you hear. It lets you move your body and feel both touch and emotion. Your brain does all the things that make you, you. Likes red foods, favorite word is elbow, ping pong champ, knows global landmarks, good at science, enjoys reading pirate books. So what is your brain? Is it a muscle? No, the brain is an organ in your body. It's made up of cells and tissue. Your brain controls everything you do, everything you think, everything you feel, and even everything you dream. The brain has many parts that do all kinds of different jobs. Cerebrum. The cerebrum is the largest part of your brain. It helps you think and speak. Cerebellum. The cerebellum is a small part of the back of the brain that helps your muscles to coordinate your movement and your balance so that you can walk, ride a bike, or play tag. Prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex is the part of your brain behind your forehead. It lets you make plans and decisions. Hippocampus. The hippocampus is at the center of your brain. It works like a file cabinet to help you store and find memories. Amygdala. The amygdala is a tightly packed group of cells deep within the center of the brain that controls your emotions. Neurons. Neurons are everywhere in your brain. They are tiny brain cells that make electrical signals to send messages to other cells in your body, telling them what to do. Like elastic bands that stretch when you pull them, even things that are hard at first, or that you don't like to do, or that you don't do very well, get easier when you keep trying. Think about the first time you played soccer. You probably couldn't kick the ball far or make many goals. But as you kept going to practices, you learned more about the rules of the game and followed your coach's directions. The muscles in your legs and feet got stronger, your movements were more coordinated, and you could run further and faster. Learning more and practicing what you learned let you play better and have more fun. Practice really does make perfect, or at least much better. Even when you make a mistake while you're learning something new, you are still training your brain. You will remember that mistake and try something else until you get it right. Making mistakes is one of the best ways your brain learns and grows. If you aren't willing to risk being wrong, you won't take the chances that stretch your elastic brain. You can stretch the part of your brain that controls your feelings too. If you are frightened about taking a risk, like learning to swim, finding the courage to put your face in the water stretches your amygdala. It will remind you that you overcame your fear. So you will be braver the next time something scares you, like diving into the water. Learning something new causes the brain to grow more connections among the neurons. With more connections, the neurons can send and receive more messages. These connections help to stretch a part of your brain and make it more elastic so that it can hold more information and ideas. How does the brain stretch and grow? Neuro means that the word is part of has something to do with the brain. A sculptor molds, shapes, or carves things out of clay or wood or stone. So you shape your brain when you make it bigger by adding new things you know and can do. You are a neurosculptor. When you learn something new, you're building on what you have already learned. In the same way that the muscles in your body work together when you want to lift a heavy object or kick a ball, the different parts of your brain work together when you're learning something new. The amygdala makes you want to learn the piano. The cerebrum helps you decide to practice. The cerebellum calls up the memory of watching and listening when your piano teacher shows you how to play a new piece of music. Then your cerebellum sends messages through neurons to the muscles in your wrists, hands, and fingers so that you can hit the right notes. The next time you play that piece of music, the parts of your brain and body will know how to work together, and you will play the song more easily. The brain that makes you, really is an amazing organ. It controls what you think, do, feel, and remember. Your brain is growing very fast during your first 10 years of life, and now we know that you can help it grow. When you try hard to learn something new, connections grow from neurons and attach to other neurons. Then your brain can send messages faster, making part of your brain bigger and stronger. Making mistakes really helps you learn because your brain keeps trying new things and stretching until you figure out the answer to your problem. You're shaping a more elastic brain when you learn new things that build on what you already know. The more different kinds of things you learn and think about, the more you can learn, know, and enjoy. The harder you try without giving up, the more you will learn. You really can train your brain to be fit and strong and to keep stretching and growing throughout your whole life. The end. So I hope you enjoyed learning about the brain and what an amazing piece of machinery it is in our body. There were some really big takeaways for me while reading this book. First of all, it's okay to take risks and make mistakes. It actually said we learn from our mistakes. How awesome is that? I know I remember my mistakes more often than I remember things that I already knew or came very easily to me because I wanted to figure out what went wrong. What new strategy could I use to figure out the problem so I didn't make the mistake and learned from it? So that's really important takeaway that I want all of you to know. It is okay to make a mistake. It's encouraged. Check out our famous failures poster in the hallway by the library. Speaking of that, That's for our 3rd through 5th graders. There's a worksheet there that if you can match the famous person with their failure and then put in an answer key, I'm going to be drawing out names next week. And you'll come down and see me. But don't worry, K through 2. I haven't forgotten about you. When you go through the double doors, you'll see a bulletin board that says, change your words, change your mindset. And it's all about how we talk to ourselves in a positive way. Instead of saying, I can't do this, we're going to learn a very powerful word. You ready for it? Yet. Instead of saying, I can't do this, change it to, I can't do this yet. I still need a little bit more practice. Maybe I need to try a different strategy. Maybe I need to learn from somebody else. So there's a sort there where you can sort the fixed mindsets. Remember the fist, I can't do this is too hard, I give up, versus a growth mindset. I can do it, I can try a different strategy, I can learn from my mistakes. Now there's one for K through 5, and it's right outside of Miss Hulamai's room. And it says, how did I show a growth mindset today? And you're going to find a bunch of sticky notes in a plastic baggie. And what I want you to do is, if you showed a growth mindset, maybe you tried something new. Maybe something was hard and you didn't give up on it. Maybe you said, I can't do this yet, but I'm going to give it another go. I want you to just jot that down with your name and stick it on our bulletin board. And that way we can show all of the wonderful ways that we've shown a growth mindset in our entire school. And I think that will be a really powerful visual for us to see how one another is using a growth mindset. Now, tomorrow, we're going to have a really special read aloud. It's one of my favorite books. I mean, all of these books are my favorite. I'm such a book nerd. But we're going to have a big school thing, and it might end up in another bulletin board. And I cannot wait to see that either. So I will be back tomorrow. But before I go, how did this elastic and the brain go together? What was the connection? Can't wait to hear about those growth mindsets. Hope you're taking risks. I hope you're making mistakes. And I hope you're persevering and powering through any of the things that get you frustrated or are a little bit challenging. Because guess what? When we challenge our brain, it grows. So I hope that you're making your brain sparkle today. Have a great one.